The brain manages and directs all body functions and processes, imports information from the outside world, and expresses the essence of the mind and soul. Intelligence, creativity, emotion, and memory are some of the many things the brain controls. Enclosed within the skull, the mind comprises the cerebellum, cerebrum, and brainstem. The brain, which is in O-shape, receives data by means of our five senses: sight, smell, touch, taste, and sound. It then uses this information to attain something meaningful for us, typically in the form of words. The organ in charge of our thoughts, memories, speech, arm movements, and function in our body is the CNS. The brain and spinal cord compose the CNS. The central nervous system, CNS, consists of the brain and spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system, PNS, refers to spinal nerves and cranial nerves branching from the spinal cord. The brain contains the three cerebra, cerebellum, and brainstem. Cerebrum, the largest part of the brain, and is composed of the left and right hemispheres. It handles functions such as interpreting touch, vision, and hearing, in addition to sound, reasoning, emotions, learning, and fine control over movement. Cerebellum is located under the cerebrum. Its function is to control muscle movements and maintain posture and balance. The medulla functions as a relay center linking the cerebrum and cerebellum to the spinal cord. It performs numerous automatic tasks like respiration, heart rate, body heat, wake and sleep cycles, digestion, sneezing, coughing, vomiting, and swallowing. The brain is broken up into two distinct halves, the right and the left. They are joined together by a bundle of fibers called the corpus callosum that transfers communications from one side to the other. Each hemisphere controls the opposite side of the body. If a stroke occurs on the right side of the brain, your left foot or leg may be weak or paralyzed. The abilities of the different areas of the brain are not equally distributed. Generally speaking, the left hemisphere controls speech, comprehension, arithmetic, and writing. The right hemisphere controls creativity, spatial ability, artistic, and musical skills. The left hemisphere is dominant in hand use and language, about 92 out of 100. The brain is divided into two hemispheres, each is connected by the corpus callosum, a nerve fiber. The cortical hemispheres have distinct cracks, which sort the mind into lobes. Each lobe has the frontal, temporal, parietal, and occipital sectors. Each part can be divided again into areas where distinct functions are based. Being sure you are aware that each hemisphere does not function alone is very critical. Each lobe of the brain comprises relationships with other lobes, and connections between the right and left hemispheres. The frontal lobe's personality, behavior, emotions, judgment, planning, problem solving, and speech, speaking and writing, Broca area, and body movement, motor strip, intelligence, concentration, and self-awareness. The parietal lobe interprets language, word, sense of touch, pain, and temperature. Sensory strip interprets signals from vision, hearing, motor, sensory, and memory, spatial and visual perception. The temporal lobe interprets sight, color, light, movement, and the temporal lobe understands language, Wernicke area, memory, hearing, sequential order, and organization. In general, the left side of the brain is responsible for language and speech and is called the dominant hemisphere. The right hemisphere plays a vital role in interpreting visual information and spatial processing. In a third of people with left-handedness, the functions of speech can be found on the right side of the brain. Left-handed people may need special testing to determine if their speech center is on the left or right side prior to any surgery in that area. Aphasia is a disturbance of language affecting speech production, comprehension, reading or writing, due to brain injury, most commonly from stroke or trauma. The type of aphasia depends on the brain area damaged. The individual Broca region has to have damage to this location in order to have trouble moving the tongue or facial muscles to create sounds. He or she can read and understand spoken language but has significant problems speaking, i.e. have difficulty forming letters, transcribing from one position to another, and in writing, i.e. forming words and letters within lines. This is called brachysaphasia. Wernicke's area is located along the left temporal lobe, and damage to it results in Wernicke's aphasia. The individual may speak in long, meaningless sentences, add unnecessary words, and even come up with new words. They can mimic speech sounds but have difficulty comprehending speech, so they can unawareness of their error. The surface of the brain is called the cerebral cortex. It has a folded appearance with hills and valleys on it. On the part of the cortex, there are 16 billion neurons, the cerebellum has 70 billion. The neuron cells do the coloration on the cortex gray-brown. Matthew, a survivor of cancer and stroke, requests that you help spread awareness of severe diseases by publishing this video. Please take a moment to subscribe to and like this video.